That's a great question. I haven't written an autobiography, and no one has written a biography about me, and that's fine. I've thought about writing not just what I've experienced, but what I've learned. I've got like 25 what I call tools for living well that I think are laws of physics of how to live well. And I pass them on to people when I work with young people or when it comes up in a conversation. And I thought I should write them down. I should publish them. Some of them are very short, and some I've thought of, and some friends or others have gifted me. Some of them are very short, but they're worth their weight in gold. Here's an example: compare and despair. The minute we start comparing ourselves to others, it'll lead to despair, because there will always be someone richer, more handsome, more lucky, more blah, 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 blah. So to have that as a law in your life, don't compare yourself to others, because it will only lead to despair. So I've thought about writing, a book called Tools for Living Well. I guess I'm a little too busy, and I don't quite have that sit down kind of discipline. I tend to be a more kinetic person. A very dear friend of mine who I've known for 50 years, a woman who is retiring as a therapist, and before that was a researcher and story editor in television, has said, well, you should put some of this down. Let me interview you. So we talk on the phone once every few weeks for an hour, and I record it and send it off to have it transcribed. I haven't yet read any of it because of that same busyness. One of the things, what I find the most frustrating in my creative work is not the creative part. It comes easy to me. That doesn't mean it doesn't take, hard work and focus and long hours and all the things it takes to craft a film well, for example. Like it takes a lot of hours to live a life well. There's a lot of moving parts in how you live, and a lot of moving parts in a film. The most difficult for me is finding the money. Sadly, I wasn't born filthy rich. If I was, here's another one of those lessons for living well. A multimillionaire who funded my second documentary, which was shot in India and Nepal and Sri Lanka in 1972. He said to me over Indian food in Toronto, as he was agreeing to fund this film, he said to me, and he was a multimillionaire who came from nothing. And he said to me, Paul, money is just a tool. It's like a hammer or a saw. And if you think it's anything more, you're lost. Well, I was 28, and that went right into the center of my psyche. So, I have fame in certain ways as a creative person, and I've made some good money at times, but neither of those have ever gone to my head. So the reason I'm saying all this is the thought of writing an autobiography, it's like, I don't need it. I don't need it to feel good about Paul. I don't need it to promote Paul in the world. Would it be good to write some of the stories down? Yes, because I think storytelling is my gift. And I think whether in photographs or writing or filmmaking, and I think the storytelling, as you both know, storytelling is one of the primal ways that we construct society and we construct ourselves. Do we build our stories around being good to others, or do we build our stories around becoming the richest man or woman in the world? Depending on what story you tell yourself, you're going to live a very different life. So no, I haven't done that, and maybe it would be valuable to do it.